You are about to witness the very exciting story of a city and its people. It will be an adventure that will open new sights in familiar surroundings. It is a story of a city seeking new horizons in a resolute contest with great challenges. That city is Detroit.
You're watching AMTV, I'm Topher Morrison. Like an ancient Greek champion donning garland after garland, Detroit has reveled in various titles over the years. It was the heart and soul of President Franklin Roosevelt's arsenal of democracy during World War II as it reinforced Allied forces, literally with Detroit steel. Thereafter, known as Motor City, it served as home to the big three auto majors, Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford. It was undeniably the touted epicenter of the automotive universe, and something for which America was to be proud. Thereafter was Motown, the hub for popularization and racial integration of African American music. Today it's $19 billion in the hole, bankrupt, broke, crime-ridden, and all but abandoned. Now the poorest American city and representative of a country that many believe has also seen its best days. Detroit in the 1950s boasted 1.8 million people according to the U.S. Census, and it was the wealthiest city per capita in the United States. In 1957, Detroit elected Louis Mariani its last Republican mayor, and by 1961, it resoundingly tossed out Mariani and left the GOP, hand in hand with Big Labor, the progressive establishment, and its various coalitions on a long journey down a half-century-long road to the bottom.
Yes, Detroit is enjoying its finest hour. There is a renaissance, a rebirth in the city. There's a newness in Detroit. I am honored to be serving as mayor at this most eventful and productive period in Detroit's history. And I'm honored to be a participant in the Detroit story.
Today, according to CNBC, its murder rate of 1 per 1,719 people last year was more than 11 times the rate in New York City. Justifiable homicide in Detroit rose by an astounding 79% during 2011. And Michael Snyder notes recently that the rate of self-defense killings in the city of Detroit was 2,200% above the national average. That's a very violent place to live. The jobless rate is above 18%, more than twice the rate for the country as a whole. Yet Michigan Capital Confidential knows it maintains a living wage higher than the federal minimum, spends more on education per pupil than the national average, and sports a powerful school employee union that militantly defends the exceptional pay, benefits, and job security it has won for its members.
These politicians are destroying our city, our state, our country. It's up to us as union members and workers to unite and fight to defend public services, public education, defend our families, defend our jobs, defend the future for the young people of this country.
Why is it then that CBS 2 years ago reported that nearly 47% of Detroiters can't even read? Now with a paltry 713,000 souls not last seen in the city since 1910, more than 100 years ago, and over 60% drop from its height in 1950, and after 5 decades of monolithic party rule, it has filed for Chapter 11 on July 18, 2013, the largest municipal bankruptcy in history. Today, Detroit is literally being reclaimed by poverty, crime, and nature itself, as many neighborhoods and public streets are abandoned. Now the stuff of distant memory and folklore. It's a dystopic, soulless carcass, a wasteland akin to the 1981 film Road Warrior, writes Reason Magazine's Stephen Greenhut. It's suffering rural sprawl, and not the pretty kind. Greenhut notes that 40% of the traffic lights in the city aren't working. It takes 58 minutes for the police to respond to a crime, if they do at all, as many of its public services have been cut to heavily blighted areas. It has been reported some in law enforcement even warned visitors to enter at their own risk. The median square footage cost for a house, $13, and some can't even give it away for free. The median home price is $9,000. And some go as low as $100. Strangely enough, Detroit actually looks and feels like many of the cities it helped destroy during World War II. According to one estimate, there are 33,500 empty houses and 91,000 vacant residential lots in Detroit's Lost City. According to Douglas A. McIntyre, founder of 24/7 Wall Street, who grew up in Pontiac just to the north, Detroit earned its bankruptcy the easy way, through greed, corruption, and the desire for political power and poor planning. McIntyre highlights the fact that Detroit's elected officials have lost all of their political power. David Orr, the city's emergency planner, has it, and soon the courts will have it all. Bondholders, unions, and their members can only wait to see how badly they will be gored as part of the Chapter 9 bankruptcy process. If the blame is to be laid entirely at the feet of the Democratic Party of Detroit, the crushing irony, heavier than the insurmountable debt the city is facing, is that the progressive policies envisaged have stripped away democracy of all of its meaning, as the future of Detroit rests heavily with the unelected. The question is now, what do we do? And can Detroit, America's once great city, survive? If you enjoyed this content, subscribe and share this video across all your social media. Got a tip or an interesting news clip? Shoot me an email at tophermorrison@amtvmedia.com. For more bonus material, follow me on Twitter @AMTVNews and like me on Facebook @TheRealTopherMorrison. Find my source work and more videos like these at amtvmedia.com. Keep us independent. Please donate $5 per month to alternative media.